Iowa communities and loved ones are now remembering the two soldiers killed in the attack, including those who knew them best. Local 5's Emma Stroner joins us now. And Emma, what can you share with us tonight?
Well, Megan, we are learning from friends and family members about Nate Howard and Edgar Torres, who say they made the ultimate sacrifice. Meskwaki Police Chief Jeffrey Bunn wrote on Facebook saying he lost his son Nate, who loved what he was doing and would be the first in and last out. Guard member David Hernandez also shares memories of Howard, writing that, quote, "If you ask someone in the cavalry unit who's the most dedicated and smartest cavalry scout, their answer would be Nate Howard." Hernandez, along with guardsmen Freddie Sarcanio and Luis Corona, tells Local 5 about Edgar Torres. They were deployed with him and created a friendship of many years. And they say Torres was a very positive soldier and eager to go on missions, and that he always had the mentality of doing things for everyone else. Additional information that was scheduled to release tonight has been postponed to tomorrow. While families have identified those killed, we do not know the names of those who were wounded in the attack. As soon as we hear more, we will update you online and on air. Megan?
I know you'll stay on top of it, Emma. Thank you.
And we have certainly had an early start to winter this year with multiple snowfalls in the metro. Local 5's Emma Stroner joins us. And Emma, you got to go behind the scenes of one essential part of making the roads safe this winter.
I did, Stephanie. After snow came Saturday, I got to ride along with truck driver Chad Aswegan, who's been putting in the hours during the cold and snowy days for years. If you put your everyday Iowan in inches of snow, they probably won't love it. But after spending his whole life in Iowa, Chad Aswegan doesn't mind the challenge.
Plowing's actually been pretty fun, actually.
Thankfully, he doesn't mind us either.
The big boss called me and was like, "Hey, can you be down here at 4?" I'm like, hopefully I'm not in trouble. So I like, "What for?" They're like, "The news." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." Yeah. I don't mind it.
A snowplow driver of 7 years and a truck driver for 9. Aswegan has stayed busy.
My first year in 2018 was just the whole year was a lot.
After 3 rounds of snow, that's especially true this year.
Kind of gets old when you're on your third weekend in a row doing it.
Third weekend in a row, working 12-hour shifts.
7 to 7, 7 in the morning, 7 at night.
Morning to evening, with the only sounds being the wings that hit the ground.
Do you listen to music?
I actually don't.
If you think plowing piles of snow for hours straight doesn't sound easy, you're not the only one.
You're always moving, always checking your mirrors, always make sure you're not going to hit some car or somebody.
So what keeps Aswegan going? Well,
you get in a zone and you just go.
He just likes it. Nothing more, nothing less.
I enjoy it.
He enjoys it so we can enjoy a safe drive home, a privilege Aswegan doesn't always have.
This morning it was windy and so fluffy that I actually followed a DOT plow all the way up here this morning, and you had to stay back for so far because you couldn't see where you're going because all the snow was flying in the air.
Aswegan tells me he's got 13 years until retirement and plans filling all 13 with more truck driving and snow plowing. Stephanie?
A Des Moines rabbi is related to one of the victims of Australia's deadliest shooting this century. As Local 5's Alex Fulton shares, the victim had an impact on the event as well.
Rabbi Levi Goldstein's aunt and uncle actually started the Hanukkah festival over a decade ago. The two have since handed it over to Rabbi Eli Schlinger, who helped it grow to a much larger scale.
It was a real shock.
Moments after emceeing,
God has a plan, although we don't understand.
Rabbi Eli Schlinger was shot at Bondi Beach.
First thing I told my family was that God knows exactly what he is doing.
His cousin, Rabbi Levi Goldstein of Des Moines, says Schlinger was in charge of the Hanukkah celebration that turned deadly.
It hit home. Just hearing that this is my cousin that this happened to.
The 41-year-old rabbi leaves behind a wife and 5 children.
He's the person that would go, I'm going to say extra mile, because he literally would drive for many hours just to meet one Jew.
Schlinger served as a prison chaplain through an organization called Chabad.
It's a worldwide outreach organization, and the motto of the organization is you show love to everyone, and of course to your own people, to the Jewish people.
He had also just recently opened a synagogue in Bondi, a lifelong dream of his.
I was just watching a video yesterday. He was showing somebody around this gorgeous synagogue. It took them many years to build.
Goldstein says Jewish people have dealt with hate for decades, and he won't ever hide who he is.
It drove our enemies crazy. They thought they're gonna instill terror in us. That's gonna instill fear, and we're just gonna back down and just hide in our corners. But no, we do just the opposite.
In Des Moines, Alex Fulton, Local 5 News.
A key community discussion as school leaders are moving forward with this plan that could shut down the Walnut Creek campus.
And the proposal has sparked some strong reactions from students, alumni, and families. Local 5's Megan McPherson is live near the school this morning. And Megan, what exactly does the community hope will come from tonight's town hall?
With the school board vote just weeks away, some West Des Moines community members say that time is running out to be heard before a decision that could shut down Walnut Creek campus. The alternative school serves some of the district's most vulnerable students. Board members are set to vote January 12th on a proposal to close Walnut Creek at the end of this school year. The district superintendent cabinet says this recommendation follows an audit that found low attendance and high absenteeism, noting attendance dropped further after students transferred to Walnut Creek from Valley West. But since the plan was announced late last month, pushback has grown, with residents saying they were left out of the district's strategic planning process. Here's what one community member said at a previous board meeting.
The Walnut Creek staff is much more trauma informed in how they respond to students. Our teachers at Valley and other large high schools are already overworked and underpaid.
I believe I said Valley West before. I meant Valley High School. But the town hall is open to the public and begins at 6 p.m. at Stillwell Junior High School. More than 100 people have already responded to the event posting on Facebook, saying that they plan to attend or are interested in doing so. And one of tonight's town hall organizers spoke with us about this event off camera. She says that the closing of Walnut Creek would impact about 32% of the district's K-12 students. And she also stresses that this is not about pushing back, but rather about inclusion. Live in West Des Moines this morning, Megan McPherson, Local 5 News.
Tonight we are learning more about threats directed at Creston Community Schools after a teacher commented on social media about the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Phone call and email transcripts are now public as part of a lawsuit filed by Melissa Crook, an English teacher in the district. And as Local 5's J.D. Snover reports, those records show multiple threats and heightened security concerns.
Creston Community Schools submitted this graphic in court, showing a spike in communication with the district after Crook posted a comment on Facebook following Kirk's killing. It reads, quote, "He is a terrible human being. Terrible. I don't wish death on anyone, but him not being here is a blessing." In her lawsuit, Crook's attorneys argue she was, quote, "subjected to retaliation and threatened with termination of her continuing teaching contract because of a private, off-duty comment on Facebook." But the district is claiming the fallout went far beyond that, pointing to security concerns. In one email, a parent wrote to the district, "It's already uneasy sending my kid to the high school daily with all that has transpired over the last week." Court documents show at least 5 students were pulled out of school over fears of violence. One staff email reassured teachers, quote, "Please be assured that we are taking this seriously. We will be present in the hallways and common areas throughout the day. We encourage you to reassure students that they are safe." The records also include profanity-laced voicemails demanding Crook's firing. One caller said, quote, "Good morning. Concerned, disgusted American here. That you choose to employ Miss Crook? Absolutely evil. She needs to be fired." The threats also led to heightened security, with one district leader writing in a text, quote, "I am requesting additional law enforcement support remainder of this week, please. The district will pay for whatever associated cost. There is no cost greater than the life."
So this case is ongoing, but this is all part of what we know right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Stephanie. And the district says those threats were ultimately deemed non-credible, but they still brought in that extra law enforcement for that reassurance. Court records also show an injunction is in place preventing her termination while the lawsuit runs its course. We did reach out to both Crooks' lawyers and the school district for comment.
We have not heard back, Stephanie.
All right, JD, thank you very much. Well, there's a new restaurant in town making it a mission to employ people with special needs. Local 5's Alex Fulton went to Triple B's in Johnston to find out how it's changing lives.
These kids, a lot of these young adults are very capable.
All of the plates served with a side of purpose at Triple B's.
When my son was born, it really showed me that there's a lot of holes and I have the ability to do better.
Owner Denny Blackford's teenage son has Down syndrome. Blackford wanted Triple B's to offer opportunities to people with special needs.
We started to realize there's a lot of need out there that a lot of people probably don't see.
Brian Vance had a tough time finding a job.
I applied for several different jobs and they wouldn't take me.
Once he was hired at Triple B's, he found community.
They tell me I do a good job here.
Around 30 people with special needs serve sodas, greet guests, and bake some of the cinnamon rolls.
We got some guys who do meat prep type stuff. We got limited on the vegetable cutting and that. We just kind of go in it cautious with some of them at first. Don't need no lost fingers.
Blackford partners with Urbandale and Woodward Granger schools, as well as organizations like Goodwill and Best Buddies.
What I've noticed with my son and a lot of the youngsters that have been with us, they're getting exposed to a lot of different groups of people. They're realizing the good, the bad, the ugly.
At the end of the day, Blackford wants his restaurant to instill confidence in his crew.
They're very fun employees to have. It's never a stressed out environment when you're dealing with the guys. I mean, it's just even in the worst situation, 90% got a positive attitude.
Blackford hopes to one day add other locations throughout the metro. Eventually, he wants to expand nationwide too. In Johnston, Alex Fulton, Local 5 News.
For the first time in nearly 3 decades, there's a case of measles in Polk County. Health officials are stressing that people keep calm because it isn't expected to spread locally. Local 5's Alex Fulton is here with why officials are sharing that message tonight.
Well, Stephanie, Iowa Health and Human Services says the infant got it while on an international trip. That child had recently traveled somewhere and spent more than a week there.
We believe the risk to the public is low.
Polk County Health Director Julianne Van Loo says the confirmed case of measles shouldn't be cause for concern.
We continue to follow the child and the family through all potential incubation periods, but so we'll stay in touch with them, do daily updates for a while, but they're doing really well.
The infant and their family had recently traveled out of the country to a place where measles is spreading. The child was vaccinated and too young to receive the measles, mumps, and rubella or MMR vaccine.
We feel confident that we do not have any public exposures. Information can always come to light, but based on our investigation and our coordinated work with Iowa Health and Human Services, we feel good at this time.
To get the first of 2 doses of the MMR vaccine, you typically have to be at least 1 year old. Last year in Polk County, 85% of children ages 2 or younger had received that first dose, short of the 95% needed for herd immunity. That's according to the latest data from Iowa Health and Human Services.
After the first dose of the MMR vaccine, it can be shown to be up to 93% effective in preventing measles. And then after the second dose, it can be up to 97% effective.
At daycares and schools, Van Loo recommends parents use common sense and don't send their kiddos if they feel sick.
I've got kiddos who are in daycare and kindergarten, and I will tell you that I'm not personally concerned. I'm not worried about my kiddos. I'm not worried about them going into their daycare and school.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is that children under the age of 1 can receive 1 dose of the MMR vaccine under special circumstances. That's if they're at least 6 months and traveling out of the country. The Polk County Health Department does offer it for anyone wanting to get that done before the holidays. Stephanie?
After naming 4 finalists just days ago, the Des Moines Fire Department now has its new fire chief.
And now City Manager Scott Sanders is hiring Jonathan Lund for the role. Local 5's Emma Stroner shares more about Lund's background and his vision for the department and Des Moines residents.
Today, I am honored to introduce to you our next fire chief for the city of Des Moines, Jonathan Lund.
Pending a city council decision on Monday, Des Moines Fire Department's own Jonathan Lund will be the city's next fire chief. He follows the soon-to-be-retired Chief John Takip, who served the department for 16 years.
His dedicated service and commitment has strengthened our city and elevated the level of fire suppression in emergency medical services that are provided to our community.
2 of the 4 finalists for chief worked at departments in Texas, and 1 worked in Illinois, making Lund the only candidate who has served in Des Moines. He started his career with the department in 2008 and began his role as fire marshal in 2013.
A good leader grows talent within their department, and we are here today with one of those people who came up through the organization.
This experience and deep knowledge of the department has given him invaluable insights into how the department works and how the department can continue to succeed.
That experience and deep knowledge are things Des Moines firefighters say are needed right now.
It's exciting to have him coming in and know that he can hit the ground running. That's another thing is you have a little bit of fear from an outside individual coming in that they won't be able to hit the ground running, and we kind of really need that right now.
That's Des Moines Professional Firefighters President Joe Van Hollen, whose hope for Lund is simple.
Communication, that's been a big thing for us. We want to make sure that we're communicating well with him communicating well with us.
Lund says his priorities for the first month will be largely assessment-based.
Budget, fire prevention, the new facilities is just one facet of the fire department. So there will be some getting up to speed time on some of the other areas that I'm aware of but not intimately knowledgeable about.
Then, once the ball gets rolling,
we know we need to add and potentially relocate some fire stations, and we need to have the staffing to do that. We've got to continue to work on a plan for stations and staffing.